Hello, I am Jake Collins, and this is my commentary for the second episode of the Mummy the Animated series, A Candle in the Darkness. And we begin this episode in Egypt. You'll see quite a few episodes in the series beginning in Egypt for obvious reasons. And we begin here with Alex, Rick, and Evie, and we're going to see an interesting contrast in this episode between the two different parts of Alex's character, Alex as a person, that combine to make him a great kid hero. He's a typical kid, and he's a great hero. And put them together, you get Alex the great kid hero. And here he is, as a typical kid, moaning and feeling bummed about doing his homework. Knowledge is like a candle in the darkness, said Evie there, lighting your way through life. And we'll see during the course of this episode that, well, she's right, but that also Alex has plenty of other skills that can't be taught or enhanced by books. It's a great balancing act. And here we are with Jonathan and Alex sneaking off together to go into Alexandria, and that's a nice time in the series, beginning of the second episode here, to establish the fun, easygoing, mutually supportive relationship between Alex and Uncle Jonathan, which is a nice uncle-nephew relationship that certainly rings true. Jonathan is an adult in Alex's life, but in many ways he's not as much an adult as the parents, partly because of Jonathan's own character and partly because of his relationship to Alex being uncle and nephew. There's room for a bit of fun and frolics and palling around. Here's an earthquake outside the ruins of the Great Alexandria Library, and this time it's not being caused by Imhotep using the staff of tremors, which we'll see an earthquake caused in that way in the second series. This is actually just a natural earthquake not caused by a MacGuffin artifact. Enjoy that while you can. Here's the opening sequence, which, as I've mentioned, gets boring very quickly. So here's my review for this episode. A typically high-quality first-season episode. 9 out of 10. This showcases Alex's characteristics and skills to excellent effect, and also manages to make some rather nice use of Jonathan. It contains a pleasing amount of exciting family teamwork, and draws on some interesting Egyptology. Yes, a fair review there, I certainly stand by that. And this time it hasn't even taken us to the end of the opening sequence. Yes, I've touched on Alex and Jonathan in that review, and I've just talked about them in greater detail. And yeah, we've seen Alex as the typical kid, and here he is doing something heroic, saving Jonathan from the collapsing library by working out where to stand so that the clear bit, the window, falls over them. Alex says there, Mum always said geometry would come in handy. Don't sell yourself short, Alex. That was natural skill that allowed you to do that. And of course, you join the likes of Dr. Alan Grant from Jurassic Park and Aladdin from Disney's Aladdin. Those are the people who can do that. Grab someone, and in Alex's case, it's someone older who is supposed to be responsible for him. In Aladdin's case, it's his pet monkey. In Dr. Grant's case, it's a younger person, and put them in the right place so that they don't get crushed and everything collapses around them. A moment of heroism for Alex there, and there will be plenty more, don't worry about it. Alex is already talking here about how he would like to get greater control of the Manacle. Imhotep would be begging for mercy if I could work out how to use this, if I can work out how to use this. Alex certainly embraces his destiny, difficult as it is at times for him, and it does get very difficult for him at times for various reasons. And yeah, he has his troubles along the way, but wow, he is a great hero and a great protagonist. Always very compelling to watch. And here's Imhotep doing one of these scenes he's testing out how much of his powers he's got left, and the answer is not as much as he would like, but this is one of these scenes where he just shouts and rages, and Corwin Weasley comes and says, "I found the O'Connell boy, master." And Imhotep says, "Well, let's go and get the Manacle then," and you get a lot of those scenes with these two, that kind of thing, and there's not a lot else for them to do in the series. As I said in my review of the whole series, which I read out on the previous commentary, not a lot of interplay between Imhotep and the good guys. They don't have good banter, they don't really work together as an ensemble, which is something I think the show is missing. Alex draws a diagram here, of course, of this 3D map of ancient Alexandria. It struck me when I watched this just now how nowadays he'd whip out his smartphone or tablet or whatever and take pictures of it. But no, back in those days, people had to work to get snapshots of things. And of course, Alex is using more of his natural skill there to draw this diagram, which is going to be of great importance as the episode progresses. And we're going to get a bit of a chase sequence here, with Imhotep chasing Jonathan and Alex on the motorbike and sidecar. You'll notice here that Alex is the safety-conscious one, while Jonathan's trying to start up the bike. Alex takes off Jonathan's hat, puts his helmet and goggles on for him. We get one of these Imhotep sandstorm sequences, which we'll see a lot of during the course of the series. Indeed, in Series 2, Alex will recognise it as Imhotep's signature. A sandstorm? That must be Imhotep. But a bit later in the series, I think it's in the penultimate episode, Jonathan does something well, correctly, and Evie or Rick, we'll have to see when we get there which one it is, congratulates him on what he's done to help the group, and Jonathan says, "Well, I do have my moments." And I always think, yes, you do have your moments, Jonathan, and it's always nice to see Jonathan's moments. And this is definitely one of them, where he uses his motorcycling skills in order to give the Imhotep sandstorm a mud bath and destroy it, so it stops chasing them. So yeah, it's lazy writing if you see Jonathan just being used for careless stuff, bad stuff, being a hindrance rather than part of the exciting family teamwork. So I would like to see, as I say, Jonathan having his moments, and there's one of them. Imhotep is left spluttering on the riverbank. Alex goes, "You saved us." "You don't have to sound so surprised," says Jonathan. "Yes, I agree with you, Jonathan. I believe I'm going to be ill," says Weasley. Yep, Imhotep and Weasley are very much established already, and not really going to have a lot of development as a duo or as characters themselves, really. Here's Alex the Kid again. Gets a ticking off from Mom and Dad. So does Jonathan, of course. Later on, we'll see, as I say, more of Alex, the great hero. A particular scene I'm thinking of. I'm going to find out about that. Evie's impressed with Alex's diagram of the model of ancient Alexandria. Alex is pleased with how impressed Evie is by that. Nice little bits of voice work and animation there, creating the character dynamics. And there, of course, is where Jonathan lets slip that Imhotep was chasing them. "Whoops," said Alex, "I forgot to mention something." Typical kid, as I say, works very well as that aspect of his character. But now they're off to find this secret annex of the Library of Alexandria, aren't they? And they seem to think the Scrolls of Thebes are going to be in there. If you're familiar at all with this series, you know that when anyone thinks the Scrolls of Thebes are going to be anywhere, at least until the very end of the series, it's a futile hope. As I said in the previous commentary, we do get set on the road for the overriding quest of the series here, following the footsteps of Alexander the Great. As it transpires, has apparently checked the Scrolls of Thebes out of this secret annex to the Library of Alexandria and never returned them. And that's why all the fumbling about Wild Goose Chase is following in his footsteps, Alexander the Great's footsteps, and provides a good overriding plot and premise for the series and some excellent adventures along the way, but does all peter out and become rather pointless once we get round to the puzzle of Horus. As I said in the previous commentary, and doubtless I will say again, Alex is getting a little frustrated at being babied there. Tutankhamun ruled the whole of Egypt when he was my age. I bet he didn't have to do what his mom and dad said. Or his mom and dad also his brother and sister, or something like that. Rather a different situation, Alex. Alex is definitely a man of action there. He sees Imhotep, he runs off to warn mom and dad. Life would be easier for Jonathan. Jonathan says if that boy was cowardly like his uncle. But no. Wouldn't be much of a series in that case, would it? I was talking in the previous commentary about ideas from the movies reused and redone in the show, which is nice to see. I'm not a great fan of the movies. I much prefer this cartoon series, but I do like to see bits of inspiration for the overall premise of the cartoon and for individual events in the cartoon taken from the source material movies. Its reflective discs lighting system is another one of them. Which we'll be getting on to a little bit later. Here's Imhotep with the shadow monsters. Shadow Anubis looking things. Which is going to lead on to a big bit of Alex the Kid Hero in this episode. Of course, Alex is the one who works out here that bright light, can destroy these shadow monsters. Dad, make them see the light, etc. Rick never was one for shadow boxing. Nice little one-liners are prevalent in this show, and John Snyder as Rick always delivers them very nicely when he gets given them. Here we see a big aspect of the show being used for the first time. Rick's dynamite. Yeah. Just like Rosie's bag and Jim's drawing book, Rick's dynamite is his signature object. He'll be using that to very good effect at various points in the series, including just now, to get rid of those shadow monsters. There's Evie with her photographic memory. Of course, she already knows where the Scrolls of Thebes are in the library after burning the scroll. She's committed to memory before burning it, or at least she knows where they're supposed to be. They certainly are darned elusive, those Scrolls of Thebes. 13 episodes worth of elusive. But there we go, I'm certainly not complaining. The series needs them to drive the quest, drive the serial aspect of the season, and it works very well. Excellent voice work, as usual, there from Chris as Alex. Oh, Dad! And Rick's whip comes out. It's another one of his signature objects. He uses that to help Alex out there. It's a nice little interplay between Alex and Rick there. Always works very well. And here's the bit where they've obviously been inspired by Knight Rider Alex and Rick because they start making bombs out of their clothes, or little exploding parcels out of bits of fabric from their clothes. Anyway, using, of course, some of the insides of Rick's dynamite. Wonderful stuff. Earlier we had Alex, the typical kid, moaning about his homework, and here's Alex, the great hero, throwing these miniature homemade bombs to devastating effect, with devastating accuracy, to deal with these shadow demons and dispatching them very quickly there. Alex slips from one role to the other very seamlessly, and it comes together, as I say, to make the great kid hero. And eventually the main protagonist of the show, as I will go on to say. I will say how I think it's pretty indisputable that he does become the main character, and as I said in my review for the whole series, that's very much the right direction for the show to take. Doubtless they were planning big things for Alex all along, but I'm not exactly sure when all the details worked out. But again, more speculation and discussion about that as we progress through the series. Homemade bombs away? Excellent. Oh, but we're out of explosives. And then, of course, Alex remembers his Manacle vision, and we get the reflective discs lighting up the place. And here we come back to what Evie said about knowledge lighting the way through life. And to tie in quite nicely, it's literally going to light up the place and save them from the remaining shadow demons. Alex is using his knowledge here, his book smarts. Now, this is book smarts, not natural skill, I freely admit, to translate the instructions to turn on the ancient lighting system. And as we know, Alex has been neglecting his studies somewhat, and there's a particularly important word he is unsure of. Translates most of it perfectly well, which is excellent. But then we have some more compelling and well done family teamwork. The one word Alex doesn't know is the colour of the lever that needs to be pulled. So he immediately goes to Evie, to Mom, for support. Mom, what does Chrysafi mean? And Evie doesn't waste time saying things like, oh, Alex, you should have studied. They don't have pointless recrimination in the face of danger like many teams do. This family team knows what's going on and knows when it's important to just shut up and give the help that the other members of the team need. And Evie immediately yells out, gold. But of course, Alex has been able to translate whatever the symbol was into phonetic English, at least, Chrysafi. Evie knows that means gold. And so, the final shadow demons are defeated. So, great teamwork there. And, yeah, yet again, Alex coming through at the end here with the Manacle, but not quite knowing how he's done it. He says it has a mind of its own. It reacts to his emotions. It does what he wants it to do at times of heightened emotion. It channels his own innate powers from inside him, perhaps. Certainly in season 2, that's very much the direction we're going in. And, well, I don't know if they thought of all that sort of aspect and how much power might be inside Alex. Not just mental power, but magical power, but there we go. Not sure about that. And here we get them discussing how they're going to follow in the footsteps of Alexander the Great. He checked out the scrolls, he never brought them back. Oh, we've got to go all around the world and see where he left them. And the answer is, as it turns out, he didn't leave them anywhere. But never mind, it's going to be a fantastic ride and a fantastic series. Talking about the Manacle, of course, I meant to say in the previous commentary, one thing Evie says it can do is bring back the dead. Now there's something that's important to remember and come back to later in the series because, well, can it? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. That one was written by Stephen Melching, Tom and Greg's very able main backup writer, and some excellent stuff there to enjoy. Hopefully you've enjoyed my commentary about it. You'll join me again in the fairly near future for a commentary on the next episode, Against the Elements.